Hey, you already know it's the Cowboys Cast, baby. Let's go. You already know what time it is. Hey, look. Took a little vacation. You can't hate me on it. There's a lot to talk about, though. What is going on with these Cowboys, man? I took almost a month off because I'm disappointed in all the things that are going on, Cowboys. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a break. I guess the words that you can say is speechless of what's going on with these Dallas Cowboys. I don't know. Y'all tell me, chat, what's going on, man? Does anybody even know? We don't even know. Nobody knows. Look, man. I haven't wanted to go live because I'm so upset. Everybody's been talking about all in. All in is not everybody's same word, or what at least people think of. So I don't know, man. You guys tell me what y'all think. Hey, we got Stephen White. He's like, hey, y'all. Hey, Cubo. Hey, just here, Stephen White, trying to figure out this thing, right? For the last month, I'm just trying to figure out. I'm lost at words, man. As a Cowboy fan, what are you supposed to say? What are you supposed to do? All these other teams are making moves. I get it. But at the end of the day, man, hey, Stephen White says we are fine, brother. Hey, man, but it doesn't feel like that sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't feel like that. Now, I am happy. I actually am happy that they let some of these guys walk off, because I think that has been, maybe Jerry Jones has learned his lesson. Our Achilles heel has been signing players that we shouldn't have. I love Michael Gallup. I thought he was a great player coming out of Colorado State. I wanted the Cowboys to draft him. They drafted him. But when it came to payday, I had to let that guy walk. I wouldn't have paid him. But what does Jerry Jones do? Jerry Jones things, and he paid him. And look what happened. So, I guess some good is coming out of this, that we are not signing players that we shouldn't. And I'll agree, man. Like I don't think we should have signed Biotish. I think we should have let him walk as well. Stephen White says Jerry is holding everyone responsible time to shine. And that's what I said, maybe it's one of those we talked about in the last show 4 weeks ago. I said, look, everybody's on a 1-year deal. It's show me what you got. Look, regardless, Jerry Jones is going to pay Dak Prescott $60 million. At least show me one more year, see what you got, and is it worth the $60 million? Even though you've seen so much of him already. But look, man, I don't know. I guess a lot of people are lost for words. It doesn't make any sense, some of these moves, but at the end of the day, we also got to think, are we going to let these players ever play, these backup players, these second, third year guys? Are we ever going to let them play and shine and see what they got so we can see what we have? Stephen White says they need to be scared of their jobs. Yeah, they do, man. I agree 100%. I think they really do. But we'll see. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get on Discord to try to send the notification, but here we go. Yeah. So look, listen, y'all read the headlines. You see Stephon Diggs traded to the Texans. Tell me what y'all think. I want to hear from y'all, man. I had to go live because at this point I'm just like, look, would he have made a difference on our team? I don't know. Chirico23 on TikTok says we drafting a I don't know, FV. We drafting a running back in round 2. I don't know, man. I don't know if we're drafting a running back at round 2. Walter says, nice background, man. I appreciate it. I've worked hard on it, brother. Don't believe that. I worked really hard on it. I'll give shout out to my wife. She actually helped me out. So Stephen White says we worked hard to find these younger players. Yeah, I mean, and maybe that's the thought process process throughout the thing, because we also got to realize I've been watching so much film on all these players that are coming out on the draft to catch up, and just kind of watching film all throughout the month, so I can start, talking about these players all the way into the draft. But we also got to think, when are we going to give these second and third year players time to develop or time to even play when you keep bringing in free agents that are a little bit older, and it's just not working out? At what point do you say, hey, Williams, take the reins, you're going to play, 95 snaps? Because I believe before he was only playing, 40% of the snaps throughout the year. So, I mean, those are the questions that we ask as fans. Are these guys going to play? So that's a question. I think that's what they're going up to. New Central says, "What's up, me brother? Hey, what's up, man? Just here, kind of confused on the whole Stephon Diggs thing. Hey, there's teams that are showing that they want to win, man, and we're just staying put. Which I get it, but at some point, something's got to give. Now, the whole time this was happening, I was just kind of sitting back and watching, right? I was thinking, is this a play for Shedeur Sanders for next year? Because look, listen, the schedule is not easy. This schedule this is Mount Rushmore of schedules if you think about it. So is Jerry Jones setting these guys up for Shedeur Sanders? Or if we have a top 5 pick next year, is that who we're going to go after? Because Jerry and his Jerryisms, he likes to be the center of attention. T-Bucks 23 says the Texans are the best team in Texas. I'm at this point, man, I'm not even going to disagree with you, man. I'm not even going to disagree with you. Chirico 23, well, the only thing keeping this team relevant, Jerry holding them back from getting a bowl. Yeah. North Central says, been a while, brother, for reals, man. Yeah, I've just been kind of dumbfounded by the lack of moves that's happening now. Like I said before, I'm glad we didn't sign some of these players because I think they should have just walked, in my opinion. So, Zero Blitz says, y'all ain't missing out on Diggs set the bridge on the fire in Minnesota and Buffalo before he walked out the door. Houston gambling tough as hell, bringing him into that young locker room. Yeah, you know what? I think that, and that's Walter, but I kind of agree with that with the Diggs thing. My brother called me and he said, hey man, what do you think we're making? And I get it. I'm just talking about the whole idea of it is what kind of upsetting me, but you're right. There's a reason why that guy's moving the third time in his career. They say the wide receiver diva, right? But there's got to be a reason why he's moving on and he's not a Buffalo Bill anymore. You're right, 100%. Now, my thing is, the only thing I don't agree is if you're bringing in a veteran wide receiver that at that caliber, is he going to help your quarterback or is he going to regress him is the question. Now, the only reason I think they bring in Stephon Diggs is because I don't know if y'all heard in the locker room, but CJ Stroud ain't no pushover. They're saying that dude is a real deal and he'll let you know in the locker room or on the sidelines. That's the only difference. I don't think Josh Allen is that kind of player. Maybe that's the difference, Walt. Maybe it is CJ Stroud being that dog and he's going to let you know. Maybe that's what Stephon Diggs needs. Stephen White says too, the Diggs drama. Yeah, you're right, man. So Newly Central did say, been a while, brother. Yeah, it's been a while, man, for real. Chirico 23 need the veteran talent. Yeah, I think that's what has a little bit to do with it. T-Bucks 23 says Jerry Jones just likes to be relevant. Yeah. David Trent 06 says Jerry doesn't give a hoot about the team. So many good players have left. Yeah. T-Bucks 23 says, and the Bills are willing to pay like $30 million a cap hit for him to walk. Now, I don't know if the report can come on, but it would be a stupid move for the Bills to make Stephon Diggs a pre-June 1st trade because they would eat that $30 million. I want to say they're smart enough to say that is a post June 1st trade because that they would not take the $30 million hit. But then again, I don't know. I would think that would be the smart thing to do. But then again, I don't know what kind of what they actually did or what the report came out. Um, but yeah, so 2024. Hold on. 2024 is a 18.5. Then they, let's say they trade him before June 1st. It would be dead money would be 0. Yeah, he's a Texan now, so that changed. I know it was less if it was pre or post June, so that might have what happened. So Zero Blitz says Diggs has to fall in line or his ass is on the final stop. It is, man, and I think that's why they made the trade. You have the Miko Ryans and CJ Stroud. They're saying this doesn't put up with that crap. So Stephen White says Bills are paying that $30 million. Okay, that's the part that I wasn't. They already changed it on over the cap. So I know that if they did it before the dead cap money, it would account for 30 million. If it was afterwards, I think it was way less than that. I want to say it was about 28 million over the course of the 4 years. So we'll see. I'm sure that will come out more. But yeah, man. I mean, let's see. We got T-Bucks 23 says they get a 3 pick for letting him go. Yeah, 3rd pick. Yeah. David Trent says been fan since 1965. Haven't seen a lot of good and bad deals. Yeah, 65 you would. All right, we got Jacob Calderera. Yo, my G, what's up? Long time no chat. Is Jacob? Yeah, man. Hey, it's been a while. We took a well rested time, but hey, we're back on it. We're gonna start going over some of these future draft picks here soon. I'm gonna go over a lot of them from now until the draft, man. So we're gonna go over some of these guys. To me, Diggs going to Houston makes me think he's getting closer to Dallas and be with his brother. If that's what you think, man, I don't think that's happening. Stephen White says Diggs is just a step closer to Dallas after this fail. Jerry will pick him up cheap. Yeah, I mean, in Houston, he ain't gonna have no choice. Like Walt says, he's got to fall in line or he's gone, man. Honestly, that's what it comes down to. And I think there was a lot of drama going on. David Trent says, I thought we were going after Winfro with the Raiders. I thought so too, but I don't think it's a good fit, to be honest. Jose Bass Fishing says, do you think Elliott's coming back, running back from Dallas Cowboys? Do you know what? There's been a lot of rumors about Zeke coming back. And honestly, at this point, I mean, why not? At this point, I think he could come back on a really cheap deal. You kind of solidify that running back room with a veteran. Now that Pollard's gone. And I agree with it, man. I think the time is now, and I think the time is right. But I have to be in line with the A-League minimum or veteran minimum, as you can say. I would not bring back Zeke for anything more than that, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I was disappointed. I saw the breaking news. I saw that the Texans are making moves, and what are we doing? Nothing. Now, that could be a good thing. Like I said before, we're signing these players and we don't want to let them go, but we're signing them to deals and they're not being productive on the back end of that deal. So we're just here scrambling, looking for other players to make plays, and the ones that we're paying are not making the plays. So at the end of the day, I'm okay with that. I guess we just see where the chips fall with these 1-year deals with both Mikes and Dak, and see what happens, man. I honestly think they had a plan for this. As you can see, Jerry and Stephen Jones always talk about having a plan in the future. I think this was all set up, to be honest with you guys. I honestly think they went after Trey Lance to be a bridge quarterback in the hopes that the Cowboys find their future quarterback. I honestly think they'd set that up, in my opinion. David Trent says, I wonder if Jerry's going after all on the draft. Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is, man. CCR 1976 Texas says Cowboys can't sign anyone, no money. That got us in free agent prison. Now, I think that's the part where people are kind of don't understand. There's some deals that the Cowboys can clear probably close to $30 million to $40 million. So the money's there. It could be had, is what I'm saying. But the Cowboys are not deciding to do that. They're deciding to sit what they got and see what they got and see if they want to go forward with this group. And I'm saying with the coaches and the quarterback, in my opinion. Hey, you want more money? You want 60 million? Show me what you got, what we have. I mean, that's what it kind of feels like. Jacob says, here you go. Hold on. Jacob says, man, what's with Washington picking up Quinn and our ex-players? Are they the Washington Cowboys now? Look, like I don't blame Dan Quinn picking up all those players. That team's just going to get even better because he knows the system. They know the system. They know how he works. So it's going to be an easy transition for those guys. We need to draft Muhammad Kamara. His production is insane. He would be a late round steal. Yeah, man. I mean, in my opinion, honestly, guys, this draft, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. This is probably one of the more talented drafts overall. I'm not talking about elite players. I'm talking about overall good players. So there is a lot of good players in this draft. This wide receiver class is very deep. This offensive line is very deep. Defensive line, I think, is deep as well. Not as deep as probably wide receivers. Cornerbacks, there's some good cornerbacks, safeties. I think this is just a well-rounded group as far as like you're going to get those players in the third and fourth and fifth round that are going to be quality players in the NFL, in my opinion. They might not be elite, but they're going to be some good players in the NFL. Let's see. Ramiro Rabago says, are the Cowboys quietly rebuilding? That's what it kind of feels like without saying it. That's kind of what it feels like. I'm going to be honest with you. Jose Bass Fishing, what do you think about running back from the Texans launch for Dallas Cowboys? What do you think? Love the player. I don't know if he's going to – I don't know if you draft him in the first and second pick, though. I don't think the quality is there. If you look at some of these players on offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, wide receiver, is it? I don't think it's there for the quality of the player. David Trent says, I'm wondering if Jerry's going after all the drafts. Yep, saw that. Jack says, we need to draft Muhammad Kamara. Yeah. Hey, he's a good defensive end. I believe he's from Colorado State, I believe. Country Boy Carl says, Jimmy Johnson needs that GM spot. Hey, man. At this point, a lot of people are upset, so I think they'll take anybody. Lumar505 says, what do you think about the rumors that they're shopping CD? Now, this is interesting, right? Because this is a very interesting one, and I have seen this. Just because of the comments that Jerry Jones has said about CeeDee Lamb. Now, last year, you guys knew that somebody's got to go. Out of these triplets, out of Diggs, Micah, CeeDee Lamb, some of these guys have to go. They have to go. Who is it? Is it CeeDee Lamb? Is CeeDee Lamb replaceable? Is the question with all these wide receivers coming out in this draft. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but it seems like they want to sign him, and that's Dak's security blanket. If you look at it, if they do want to look long term, or any quarterback that comes in, they need that security blanket. So I don't know, but we'll see. Anything. Look, at this point, anything can happen. Ramiro says, "Is this Dak's last dance?" I think that's kind of what it feels like, depending on what happens. Jack says, do you think we might draft Jonathan Brooks in the second if he's there? I heard Jerry wants him. I mean, there's a lot of players these Cowboys want that Jerry wants. But I don't know if what do you see Jonathan Brooks, I guess, is my question. That's the real question. That's the real question, Jack. What do you see Jonathan Brooks as? Is he a three down back? Is he a utility player? I think that'll answer your question, because if he's not a three down back, he's not going to get drafted anywhere in the second round, in my opinion. War Drums, Dams last season should have been last year. Yeah, it should have. You talking about Dan Quinn? Yeah, it should have been last year. You're correct. If you're talking about Dan Quinn. Let's see. Jacob Caldera says, "What's the status on Dak getting extension? Is it going to happen? Let him knock." Look, I think at the end of the day, they're still saying this thing is still on the table from now until August. They still got time to do this. According to Jerry, that's what he's saying. But if he knows already he's got to pay him $60 million, why not let him play out the year? In my opinion. Jacob says, with Pollard gone, are you surprised we didn't go after Henry? No, like I would be okay with getting Henry, but at what point? Like he's gotten hurt too. He's declining a little bit. Like you want some of these fresh backs, and what I said last year, we should have drafted some running backs, in my opinion. But we didn't. Jack, I feel like people forget we have Lupke. That dude is huge and should be our third short back. Yeah, Lupke. And I just got off the phone with my brother and said, look, Lupke, every time, didn't it seem when he got the ball, he kept getting yards? Every time, positive yards. So if you look in retrospect as far as, Michael Gallup, getting rid of Michael Gallup, we still have Cook. We still have CeeDee Lamb. We still have Tolbert, which is still maturing, and he did play good last year. Let's give him some more opportunities. What about Brooks, the receiver from last year? He played pretty solid too. I mean, we have all these players. Let's see what they got. Gus says Jonathan Brooks is Mike Allstott type back. Okay. So is he worthy of a second pick then? Is the question. CCR says we should trade Dak during the draft to a team that would take him. That's a tough one because he can't be traded. Now they would have to give him the opportunity to pick a team if he wants to. There's a no trade clause on Dak. So he would have to be able to pick the team. So it's not the team picking him. So he would have to be okay with that. So at this point, I don't think that's happening. I just think we need to get younger in the running back position, honestly. Country Boy Carl says Cooper Rush needs a shot somewhere. Dakota's holding him back. You think so? Cooper Rush? I don't know, man. I don't think so. Gus says trade CD. He will cost $30 million a year. Can't pay him. Look, I love CD, man. That's a tough pill to swallow. I'm not gonna lie. And I think it all depends on the Cowboys and what they get for CD. What are they giving up for CD? Braylon Allen. I like Jack. Now we're talking. I like Braylon Allen. I like the type of player he is. I think he's the type of player that can also pass block. That's what I like is Braylon Allen. That's my type of player, honestly. But going back to the CD question, right? It's tough, man. It's one of those tough things. You can't keep everybody. To me, in my opinion, you already signed Diggs. Are you going to sign Micah or are you going to sign CD? Which one are you signing? You got to sign only one. Jack says trading CD would honestly be one of the dumbest franchise decisions. He's elite. Yeah, man, but sometimes you can't keep everybody. That's the problem. I'm not for it. I'm not against it. I'm just in the middle. I'm like, I don't know. It depends. So this is my thing, Jack. If somebody comes up and says, I'll give you this year's number 1, next year's number 2, and next year's number 4, do you take that deal? I'm just saying. It's a lot of picks. I think it just depends on the price. Gil Gomez says Jerry Rice's son would be a good compliment with CD. I think he's a big X receiver that would probably fit well in this offense. You're right, Gil Gomez. I can agree with that. Gus says take your first back next year. Gus says keep Parsons. Gus Trey. Lumar 505 says, do we get Powers Johnson or does Eagles get him? Look, man. That's one of those things. I don't think we get that guy. I think he's gone. I honestly think he's gone early. Gus says trade him to the Jets and get a buttload. Yeah. Newell Central says who would pick to keep CD or Parsons if we can't keep both? That's what I'm saying. Who, if you had to trade somebody, who would you keep? Who would you trade? If you could only keep one, Micah or CD? Country Boy Carl says, what's the rumor on DK Metcalf playing for Dallas? I haven't heard that rumor, but if it's true, send the pick. Send the pick now. CCR says CD stat trade Parsons. Okay. So he says CD stays. Parsons, trade Parsons. Jack says for CD, to be honest, I think CD is worth 1 first and at least 2 seconds. He almost had the triple. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I realistically, I think it's a first, a second, and maybe a fourth, a fifth at most. Jack says, if I had to keep CD or Parsons, I would keep Parsons. Micah's generational. Yeah, it's a tough, man. Lou Mar says Parsons stays. I think with this defense, Micah Parsons might be a different player depending on how they use him. Gus says you can get receivers every year in the draft. Yeah, you can. To be honest, you really can. This is a question because if you see the Chiefs and the 49ers going to Super Bowl this past year, they didn't have a number 1 wide receiver. Ayuk, I don't think, is a number 1 wide receiver. So there you go. There's your answer. Ramiro says, will Jalen Tolbert break out this season? I think he has no choice, Ramiro. The way the Cowboys are going, I think he has no choice but to stand out. Jacob says, do you see Trey Lance playing this year? Depends if Dak gets hurt, man. That's the only way he's playing, honestly. Or unless either that or they have a really bad year or they start off really bad. Adam, let's give Adam a round of applause, man. We haven't been on in a while, man. Welcome, Adam. He said Texas still ain't. Hey, man, it's you know how we are in Texas, man. That's how we play. Yeah, I mean, it depends on Dak. It depends on how the year starts out. Jack says, yeah, but that's different. The Chiefs have Mahomes and the Niners have CMC. Both also have elite Ds. That is true. But think about the past couple of Super Bowls. Who has been a number 1 wide receiver, the top dog to go to Super Bowl? All these players nowadays, most important thing is the bag of money. Yeah, CCR is right. Gus, look at the Chiefs. Traded the best 2 receivers in the league and won 2 Super Bowls without him. That's what I keep saying. They traded their best receivers and they won 2 Super Bowls. I'm just saying. Lou Mar 505, do you think Lance is trade bait? No, I honestly think early on the show, I said, I think the Cowboys are being very methodical with this Dak thing. And I believe that they got Trey Lance in case something like this happens and they have a bridge quarterback to find their quarterback of their future. If not, it's Trey Lance. I honestly think they thought this through. And that's why they're in the predicament they are in now. Ramirez says, I don't get Jerry's strategy. He doesn't have a lot of time left. He doesn't. Jack, part of me fears Diggs won't ever be the same after ACL injury. That's scary, man, because I've been thinking about the same thing. I hope he comes back stronger than ever, man, in my opinion. I hope he really does. Joseph Rodriguez, who is our next running back? Man, I hope it's Braylon Allen from Wisconsin. I hope we get that guy. We'll see. CCR 49ers, once they pay Purdy, we'll be in the same boat as Cowboys. You can't pay everybody. You can't. Look at the Buffalo Bills. Right? They signed all these good players to try to win a Super Bowl. They had that window with Josh Allen. Then they had to pay Josh Allen. And guess what happened this year, guys? They cut all these players because they couldn't continue to pay all these players. Once you pay that quarterback, you cannot. Look, the Eagles are in a crazy predicament right now. They waited until, 2022, 23, 24, and next year. After that, that's their window. They're done. That salary cap for Jalen Hurts goes really high. So this is one of their last chances. Adam says, what's up, fam? Been a while. Bye-bye. Yeah, man. It's been a while, man. Look, I just had to get on with the trade of Diggs to Texans and all the stuff that's going on. I've been taking some time off. I said, you know what, man? I got to get on. This is craziness. So I had to get it on, man. Adam says, we letting Lamb walk after next season also? I don't know what's going on, man. Your guess is better than mine, Adam. We don't know what's going on, man. Lou Moore says, did you know all previous starting quarterbacks have never left? Dak would be the first. Yep. It's crazy. Jack, I feel like Tolbert has had enough chances, though. I want to give Jalen Moreno Cropper a chance. I like that guy, man. I really do like Cropper, man. He's a good wide receiver. Country Boy Carl says, my issue with Dak is that he stays in the pocket too long. Sometimes he does, man. Sometimes he really does. Gus, they will not pay Dak. They will trade CD, then will not make the playoffs and hire Bill Belichick fix. I said the same thing, man. Is this a setup for Bill Belichick to come in with Shador Sanders? We'll see, man. Time will tell. Micro Garza 1975 says, in your opinion, should we keep Dak? This is a tough one, man, because you got to think about both sides. It's hard to find a good quarterback, and Dak's a good quarterback. He's not great or elite, but he's good. And do you continue with mediocrity with this team? Or do you let him walk? I'd say, in my opinion, man, let's see what he's got this last year. And if you're not happy with the result, just let him walk. Let him walk. You got Trey Lance for a bridge quarterback to find your next quarterback, in my opinion. That's the game plan. Hey, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. Hey, let's go, man. Like and share the channel. We're on every platform. We're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Hey, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, man. Let me push them like buttons. Hey, TikTok, make sure you like this and share it all across the board, man. Let's see. What do we got here on TikTok real quick? I missed one. Dak has the worst playoff record ever. I think it's done. Yeah. Also, by ever, I mean historically, he's tied for the worst in NFL history. Ramiro, Dak just had an MVP season. You will not find better. Yeah, and that's the tough part, man. That's a tough pill to swallow to let somebody walk and he had an MVP season. DC for Life says, we need to stop listening to the noise and just let Dak play. Yeah, just let him play, man. Let him play and see what he has this last year and see what happens. Gil Gamez, let's hook him up and hit that like button. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Hey, you guys have been awesome. TikTok, YouTube. Hey, give y'all yourselves a round of applause, man. I appreciate you guys coming on. I know it's late. It's 9:42 out here on the East Coast. But hey, man, we're here. We're talking about it. I had to get on after a month and see all the shenanigans that are going on right now, the things that we're not doing. And hey, some of us are frustrated, man. We're so frustrated. Like, what's the real game plan? Because look, like us, like, you know, look at behind me. Like, we buy merchandise, we buy tickets to games, we buy all these things, man. Like, and Jerry Jones is gonna do us like that. But maybe there's a plan in place to play these players like, you know, Sam Williams and Tolbert and some of these younger players to step up and hopefully they can play. We still got Overshown, man. Some people forget about that. We still got Overshown. Maybe we can draft another linebacker. So we'll see. Jack says Dak's best games were from bottom 5 secondaries, though. Yeah, you're right. I'm not going to even deny it anymore, man. He had some of his best games against not very good teams. And when he did play good teams like Eagles, they already know that team already, man. So he's going to play well against them. Lou Mars says 505, Vrabel or Belichick? In my opinion, I take Vrabel all day. In my opinion. DC for Life, New Central, give him a round of applause. He shared the live. Y'all make sure you share the live. DC for Life, there's only one. There's only one winning quarterback, Mahomes. All the other quarterbacks are chokers too. Yeah, man, Mahomes is putting on a clinic. And to make things even worse, they just signed Chris Jones, I believe, to a contract. And now they're coming back, man, to try to repeat this thing. So we'll see, man. It's going to be very interesting. Whatever happened to David Durden? I saw him in training camp torturing our star. He got hurt, man. He had an ACL injury. So it was Durden that had the ACL. It was Stevens, the tight end, that was probably going to make the team. They both had an ACL and obviously Overshown. So all three of them had ACL injuries. So they're rehabbing, coming back, hopefully strong. And we will see, man, what happens. But I'm very excited for that tight end Stevens to see what he's got after rehabbing for that ACL tear. But look, guys, man, hey, we've been on for how long? For 34 minutes. Look, man, like, subscribe in the channel. And look, y'all already know, man, it's the Cowboys Cast. We read every comment. If you comment on here, you guys already know we're going to read the comment. All right? So, hey, we appreciate you guys. The only reason this thing is going because we're trying to reach 2,000. We already hit 1,000. We're trying to get to 2,000. Make sure you share, like, subscribe to the channel, put your notifications on. We appreciate you. Hey, we're going to go fast and furious, man, until the draft. Let it be known. I'm going to go through some of these players that we have quote unquote needs on. All right. I'm going to go over probably 1 through 5 maybe of these players that are coming out. So y'all stay tuned. We appreciate you all. Hey, TikTok, as always, be nice, TikTok. I'm going to let TikTok go first. TikTok, be nice, TikTok. Be nice to each other. At YouTube, you know we love you. We are blessed. Thank you for coming on with us. We appreciate everything that you guys do for us, coming on with comments. Hey, it's going to be fast and furious. Like I said, we're going to be going live a lot. We got to go over a lot of players before this draft. I'm going to go live on the draft. Make sure you watch the notifications. We appreciate it. Until the next time, hey, keep it real.